All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha Rakah Quadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abababal. All right, I was looking at articles, looking for an article to do a sit down on. And I came across this article here. It says, traditional housewife lets her husband sleep with other women to keep him happy. All right. And that is a traditional housewife. All right. According to biblical law, the Lord will give you a wife just like he gave Adam a wife. What was it, 2? The Lord did it in verse 18. And Yahweh, the supreme power, said, "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmate for him," which is the woman. All right. He created the woman to be a helpmate. In fact, a woman is a possession, and she's to be in following her husband, pursuing his dream. You see? But as this says here, traditional housewife lets her husband sleep with other women to keep him happy. All right? So our law also gives us, which Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua gave us, laws through Moses. Yeah. Verse 10, these are righteous laws. It says, if he take him another wife, her food, her remnant, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. All right? So you got to be popping her. You know, you got to be making sure she's in good health, you know, in good well-being. She's eating. She's well-dressed. She's taken care of. She's clean. You know, you can't just, be pimping women. That's a sin. That's an abomination to pimp women. And these women, they're actually to be guided in a correct manner, and that's why the Lord's going to have these women that are ordained to be saved, cleave to the righteous men of the Lord. Isaiah 4:1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. See, in the law, when you have multiple wives, you're supposed to make sure that she's eating and she's clothed. But in this time, in the last days, all right, these women are gonna try to hide their shame, and they're gonna come with pretty much what you would consider gifts. And as it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So that law that we were given back in the past, that the man had to make sure she was fed, that law is not going to happen in these last days, because the women are going to come providing food. All right? They're going to come with gifts. All right? Because that's what the Lord has given us. He's given us gifts. And with gifts, you get gifts. All right? It says, and one of the gifts we're going to get is boxed. We're going to get a lot of female, you know. It says, in that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And what are them that are escaped of Israel going to receive? Heaven and earth. It's gifted by Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. See? So there is women that are ordained to be saved, and they're going to be gifted to the elect men. All right? The traditional housewife lets her husband sleep with other women to keep him happy. All right, here's another example of a traditional woman, Sarah, all right, Abraham's wife, giving another woman for her husband to lay with. Genesis 16, chapter 16, verse 1. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, so this is before Isaac was born. It says, Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, which was a slave, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold, now Yahweh hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go unto my maid, go up into her, my maid Hagar. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. All right. So the traditional woman, just like this female understands, traditional housewife lets her husband sleep with other women to keep him happy. All right. There's many examples of a man having multiple women in the Bible. That's the natural way of life. All right. The monogamy was brought up by Esau. All right. And that was to try to control the population of Israel because they despise us and they really want to commit, genocide against us as they did in Egypt. But when they persecute us, we multiply. So what they do is they deceive us into living in heathenistic customs which go against the way of our power, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, which is sin, which brings death. But now that we have the light, all right, Yahweh Shai, the light of the world, we know what is right and what is wrong. And that's what we do. As we stand on our feet, we teach what is right and what is wrong according to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. All right, and being a homosexual is wrong. All right, being a lesbian is wrong. All right, when you have these multiple women, you're not supposed to have them licking each other's ass either. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain, order to having multiple women, even, cleansing, being clean, being bathed in between them. There's law. We have a law that you're supposed to wash yourself, in between the women, in between sex, to keep yourself clean. All right. Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. Then they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another, talking about the brotherhood, and Yahweh hearkened and heard it. He hears Israel, starting with the elect. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh, and that thought upon his name, for the elect. All right. And they shall be mine, saith Yahweh of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them, as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. All right? So we're his sons, and we serve him. All right? And we suffer chastisement, but it's worth it. We suffer it, so be now. But there's a reward, and the Lord told us that there's a reward, and we should look for this reward in hope and faith that we are delivered. We have salvation at the return of his son, Yahushua. All right? It says, verse 17, and they shall be mine, saith Yahweh of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them, as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return, and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, and him that serveth not. Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Like Esau, all right? He's not going to prosper. His image isn't going to prosper. And his device, the mark, ain't going to prosper. It says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. All right, because we're not speaking with our own words. We're using the scriptures, the prophecies, which he put in our mouths to speak to his people. Second Ezra 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right? For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. All right? And that's what they've done. They've taught different things to try to slow Israel, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, from multiplying just like in Egypt. So I Googled, when did monogamy become popular? Monogamy is pretty much having one spouse, one husband, and one wife in a relationship. And it says, from what they found, they concluded that hominoids, which is Esau's deception, 4.4 million years ago, mated with many females. See, and many females, Esau still has to tell you the truth, but he still has to tell you a lie. You see? He'll lie to you about it being 4.4 million years ago and who it was done by, but that is what it was in the past, in the more righteous times, because this is the most wicked time under the Edomite, the devil. All right. Back in the past, when we had a little more life, we would have multiple wives. It says by about 3.5 million years ago, which is another lie. However, the finger length ratio indicated that hominids had shifted more toward monogamy. Let's now define what this is.
Hominid.
Hominid, a primate of a family that includes humans. See,